you. This is for you. You and you and you.
I'm here with a living legend, MC Lyte.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be sitting here with you.
Well, it's an honor for me. Grew up listening to your music. Huge fan.
Thank you.
Like where I'm from, we listen to you hardcore because your music had content. You talked about things that we were going through, things that we were living. So like your music hit different. And for me, that's why like you'll always be a representation of the culture because you had something to say every time you step to the mic.
If you hear it enough, you'll believe it. King be it, king live it, king receive it. Straighten up your crown, king. Let nobody knock you off your square and the joy that you bring.
What was behind the making of King?
I'm always touched when you all are on the field. The whole season you've been busting your butt to make it work.
Boldin, touchdown, Ravens!
And then you win and we're able to see the vulnerability. And when I see that, I'm always like goosebumps, nearly crying when I see champions finally win. And so that's exactly what I was feeling, like what can I do as an ode to these men who work so hard and are never really told, especially in the format of hip hop, of how golden and how great they are.
Soldier, hold it, even though it all falls down. Show it, you know the world is watching now. I know you get tired from keeping it all together, but we need you.
Tell me about the Players Coalition. So when, why?
Yes. Oh. I mean, it started off of tragedy, honestly. My cousin Corey, he was a drummer in the band, and he went out to play a gig, and on his way home, his car broke down. And on the phone with roadside assistance, a plainclothes police officer rolled up, unmarked vehicle, and long story short, he killed my cousin. Starting Players Coalition was a mission for me. So I, went to every media news outlet I thought possible, trying to get the story out there.
Because you wanted justice.
Yes. And, for us, it took a couple of years for justice to actually happen. The officer who killed my cousin, he was convicted. But I found out he was the first officer convicted in an on-duty shooting in the state of Florida in the last 30 years. So like for me, it's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
It was looking around the NFL to see guys that were doing work in the communities. How do we bring these guys together to make our impact that much more greater? And then we started with like 6 guys going to Washington, D.C., talking to senators and congressmen. And now we're at like 1,500 players across 12 different leagues, 30 different colleges. The power comes in the numbers. And it's not all criminal justice reform. Sometimes it's voting rights. Sometimes it's providing internet services to kids who don't have it. Sometimes it's providing food where people live in food deserts. I mean, it's across the board.
Right.
We tout that we live in the greatest country in the world.
Right.
And I do believe that America is a great country. But we're not without our problems.
Right. So the Players Coalition now, 2025, brings upon what mission?
Yeah, for us, it's gun violence prevention, something that has plagued our country for far too long. You talk about school shootings, you talk about, this is an issue that we need to deal with. So for us, we feel like it's on us to take on this issue and prevent a gun from going into the hands of somebody who's 12, 13, 14 years old.
That's a feat right there, because when you talk about school shootings, it does demand 15 of you showing up on Capitol Hill to change legislation. And it feels like you all have no qualms about stepping into those shoes and saying, it's time for me to not just empathize, but actually do something about what it is that's happening in our communities. We want to give our young people a reason to be more, want more, and not want more in a materialistic type of way, but want more for your life because you have value.
So would you say that hip hop has that responsibility as well?
Yeah, I mean, I come from a different school of hip hop. And that is, we do take on the responsibility. We understand that we are the community. Just because we've made a record and traveled the world doesn't separate us from our people and what it is that we want to see for them. I've always wanted to use my platform for good. So for many years, I allowed my name to be mentioned in anti-gun violence or, education towards AIDS and what it is. And right now I'm on a campaign with multiple myeloma because it's affecting us in our communities. And so I'm usually finding every reason to get involved as opposed to a lot of people finding reasons to not.
Well, you're accepted in the Players Coalition. Because like I said, I'm a fan, always have been, but
Thank
more
you.
so because of what you stand for. The generation following us need mentors.
Yeah.
They need to know how to do it. They need to know that there are people that are with them, giving them hope, seeing the best part of them. It's a responsibility, and it's something that I take on proudly because I have 2 sons coming up behind me, and I want to make sure that I leave this world a better place to them than how I inherited it. So hopefully this work continues to go on after I'm dead and gone. So.
Yeah, well, I'm praying and I'm rooting for you all, and when you need me, I'm here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You somebody mighty